fuck that. Conor McGregor, you're taking everything I work for, motherfucker. I'm gonna fight your fucking ass.
Sorry, Daddy.
What do you mean sorry, Daddy? What the hell did you do? Is Wayne Brady gonna have the choker bitch?
Captain Picard.
Okay, Captain Picard is not gay, he's British.
Come on, make it flow.
I hate to break it to you losers, but Han Solo's a bitch.
Tallahassee, you want to stick together, at least for a while?
Here's the deal, Columbus. I'm not easy to get along with, and I'm sensing you're a bit of a bitch. So, I give this relationship to about Texarkana.
Disturbance reported at the top of the Crown restaurant. Suspect is a male costumed extremist, armed with what appears to be a ketchup gun.
It's gonna be one of those nights.
You're listening to Comic Can Coozie, your weekly podcast for all your geeky garbage, kitschy comedy, and nerdy news. I'm Cole.
Hi, I'm Adam.
I'm Taylor.
Every time I kind of trip over my words on the introduction, I always look over at Adam, and he's just got this big shit-eating grin on his face.
We've only been saying that for years.
Talk much? Got him.
I don't have a whole hell of a lot to talk about, but I do want to talk about one thing in particular.
What's that, Cole?
I went over to we moved this. We moved into the condo this week, and I've been kind of getting rid of shit that I don't really use. So I found all this old Xbox stuff, Xbox 360 stuff.
Yeah.
So and then Gabe has an old Xbox that he doesn't use anymore. So I brought it all over to Elija.
He's like, you deal with this now.
Well, he still uses his Xbox 360 somewhat often, and that's one thing I do with him when I go over to his place. Is a lot of times we play different fighting games against each other, or
Call of Duty,
Call of Duty against it. Yeah. So I brought all these games over to his place and like extra controllers and shit. And but while I was over there, he has been working on a different podcast for quite a long time. Called and he said he's ready to put it out this week. He asked me not to ever talk about this until he was ready to put it out. But it's going to be called My First Car, and he's going to release the first 3 episodes at Wednesday morning at midnight. So Tuesday night. The first one will come out at midnight. The second one will come out at 12:01, and the third one will come out at 12:02. And Adam's going to be in the first episode.
Yeah. Cross promo machine.
So
That's right. It should be very exciting.
Adam's going to talk about his first car.
Yeah.
And I know the title of the episode. I haven't listened to the episode, but I know the title is called The Turdmobile. Yep.
Cool.
Because he had a brown car. And I'm guessing it was a piece of shit.
They all are.
Like all of our first cars.
As they should be.
As they should, yes.
Don't deserve a fancy car.
No.
See those like punk high school kids driving like newer Mustangs and stuff.
Like a $40,000 Jeep.
Yeah.
Fuck that kid.
Like shit. Like, you don't deserve that.
Take it away.
We I did one of those episodes, an episode of that. I don't know when that's going up, but that was a lot of fun to do that. But Taylor hasn't done it because Elijah only wants his friends on.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. What can I say?
Just messing around. I'm sure he'll have you on at some point.
Yeah. I think I was actually supposed to be on, last week after they got back from Comic Con, but it's just been too busy.
Oh, my God. This whole week has been fucking...
Yeah.
It's all been just moving and doing shit I don't want to
Taking
do.
stuff to the dump.
I haven't received any phone calls
For what?
for moving.
I hate telling asking my friends.
I haven't bothered really asking anyone. It's just been... Taylor asked his bandmates to come help with shit because it was a lot of band shit.
Yeah.
And then one of them, Lucas,
Yeah.
kept on Taylor would be like, "Do you want this?" And Lucas said yes to like everything. So it was easy to get. It was easy for Taylor to get rid of a lot of shit that way.
Well, that's kind of the nice thing about moving. You know, with your buddies, there's a lot of stuff that just pops up. You just get their shit. You inherit it. They're like,
that is
it's cool.
My favorite thing about moving is your purge.
Yes,
because it's like you let it sit around forever, and then like finally when you move, you make that decision. Like, I guess I actually don't need this.
What are we doing with it?
That's kind of why I told when we walked into this room, you can't hardly open the door all the way. I basically said to Taylor,
I'm sorry,
take this to storage, because on the back of the door there's a little video game,
Miss
Pac-Man thing.
Right. I honestly thought I thought that it wouldn't be as big of a hindrance as it is.
Yeah,
I thought it would
really
open the door all the way.
I wasn't going to say anything because it's your place, but as soon as I walked in, I'm like, this door doesn't open.
Yeah, that's going away.
There for this, but I guess if this is where
No.
And basically what I said to Taylor was, when is the last time you use this thing? It needs to go to storage.
Every Thursday, I told you I have a Miss Pac-Man tournament with myself.
That's a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I know. If it wasn't such a hindrance, it might be able to stay. But yeah, it's can't open the door all the way, so off she goes.
Get rid of it. I did move something today. For the last few weeks, at least, Logan's been harassing me about getting an organ, like an actual instrument.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the state.
No, I don't.
I like how the noise he made was basically a kazoo.
I thought it was a trumpet.
I figured I had to make some sort of musical sound in order for Taylor.
What the fuck does he?
Logan really wanted an organ. The instrument that sounds exactly like a kazoo.
What the fuck does he want an organ for? Why not just like a keyboard?
Exactly, because I'm like, in my head, I'm like an organ, heavy. That's basically the only thing. Because at first he asked for a piano, and I said,
heavy,
even heavier. I'm like, there's plenty of pianos. People give away pianos, tables, and organs. Just get them out of their basement. That's what happens. Those old things that no one uses, and they sit there. But anyway, he kept harassing me over and over again.
Was it like a Facebook Marketplace situation?
I found one on Facebook. This one I actually ended up paying $30 for rather than getting. All the free ones were humongous.
Okay.
This one could actually fit in the car.
All right.
Because I sent a message to this gal and I was like, can you just, I'm interested. And it was out in Wilton, which isn't too far away.
25 miles or so?
Yeah, it didn't take very long to get there. But I said, can you just send me the dimensions of this thing? Because then I could get an estimate of the weight in my head at least too. Like if it can fit in the car, it shouldn't be too crazy heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily it wasn't. So we ended up driving out there.
Here, pause for a sec.
I don't even know where I was at. Measurements? I don't know.
Yeah, dimensions.
Dimensions and weight, whatever. We ended up picking it up, but when we went out there, the listing had said basically it had sat around for a couple years, and they weren't even sure on the functioning of it. And so when we got there, they're like, "Oh, it's all plugged in," and they said they had messed around with it but didn't know how it worked at all. So I went over and started flipping switches, and Logan, I'm like, well, they had like every single instrument switch flipped on. So I flipped them all off and just put one on and hit the keys, and works. So Logan went through, tested each key, and he's like, hey, this thing is awesome. This is the best thing ever. I need it. And I'm like, fine, get it. We'll get it.
Logan's future career is going to be the guy sitting at the top of the basketball game.
But every time he'd ask about an organ, I'd say, you know why people give these away is because they came out with keyboards. Even the cheapest keyboard does exactly what this thing does, but better. But he wouldn't go for it. And I think it's part of
is it the whole tube amp thing where
it's part of his like Beatles obsession. He's like, they played on an organ, and I'm like, that's because they didn't have a fucking keyboard,
and they had a fucking guy to lift that shit around for him.
They didn't have to carry it. But whatever. Now it's nestled in the basement, and he's happy about it. And now he can move on with his next obsession, which will be cymbals and other crap. At least cymbals are lighter, but they cost a lot more.
I heard Ringo was a real fucking slave driver about that thing.
What?
About the organ. Like, yeah, hey, you guys, you fucking drop that thing. I'm going to give you a beating.
What the hell was he talking about?
He watched that Beatle doc on fucking Disney Plus. He knows all about it. Here.
Ringo would fucking beat people half to death if they fucked around with that organ.
Why would the fuck? Ringo's a fucking drummer. Why did he care?
I don't know.
Hey,
man,
it was his mom's organ.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's like, well, he knows how people are. Drums are heavy. Sometimes they drop shit.
Yeah.
Organs are heavy.
Yeah, they are.
All right.
Apparently, like, how much would you estimate the thing weighed?
I don't.
If you and Logan handled it, I'm sure it wasn't too bad.
It really wasn't too bad. I don't know. 100 pounds, maybe.
Wow.
That ain't too bad.
Heavier than it should have been. But they were built like, it's not like particle board. It's built with real wood.
What year would you estimate this guy?
I think there was a tag on it, but because Logan, being obsessed, he researched and he's like, they put out this particular organ between the years of 1975 and 1978.
Okay, nerd.
So yeah. So I could get the exact date or year, but it was in between there. So later 70s.
I'm just trying to figure.
Yes.
So this is what they would have used before a keyboard. What you would have had in your house, kind of.
Yeah.
But I mean, does it have two keys?
No.
One?
This is just one keyboard, but on the left side, it has multiple buttons that would do chords. Think of almost like an accordion.
Oh.
One side you have
That's the next thing he's getting.
Yeah.
I got one if he wants one.
Do you really?
Yeah.
He probably would. He'd mess around with it. He'd actually learn how to play it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Full size one?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
It's in storage. Should have been around. I could have given it to you.
You had it at the house?
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell? I never saw you messing with it.
I've seen him play with it. He got it.
Wait, we're talking about the accordion?
Yeah.
Hey-o.
No, with his organ.
Yeah.
He bought it when he was still living in the apartment.
Oh, okay.
That'd piss off my neighbor or something.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, the ones that always fucking cooked and made the whole goddamn apartment complex smell like fish.
Those were the good old days.
Every time I walked into that apartment building, the fucking hallways just smelled like fucking fried fish.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And not good fried fish either.
No, like old fried fish or something.
Yeah.
Ugh, yucky.
Other than the accordion made sense. I watched a movie before coming here. I finished it like half an hour before we were supposed to get on here.
All right.
And I won't say it in case, just so it's not, I'm going to give spoilers.
Spoil it. Unless
Okay, I will, because it's not even a new movie.
Oh,
it's
okay.
new to Netflix.
Oh, okay.
And it's called Predestination, I believe.
All right.
Starring Ethan Hawke.
All right.
And I understood why I had never heard of it, because it was a weird storyline.
Sure.
But as okay. It's about a time traveler who works for an agency, and he goes back to talk to a person who he thinks, well, they make it set up that they think that person, if they help kill someone else, then this bombing won't happen, sort of thing. But that's not the story at all of what really is going on. But the gist of it is that this one Ethan Hawke goes back, talks to this person who is a guy at the time. The guy tells him a story that he was born a girl, and then the girl is trying to get into this space program. But it turns out that the space program is actually this time traveling program that Ethan Hawke is in.
Okay.
At some point, this time traveling, or this girl or this guy he's talking about is telling the story about being a girl going through this space program, and then has a kid, and then because she had a kid, she loses her female sex organs because they were developed, but she has full male sex organs in her. So then she becomes a man. That's how she was a man in the future, talking about the story of her being raised as a girl.
Sure.
So she goes back in time with Ethan for this mission. But then what happens is that he meets his past self as a girl, okay? And then has sex with
Oh my God! Here we
him
go.
herself. And that's the child that she had. But the she was an orphan. Okay, I should have said that. I should have opened with that. She was left at an orphanage. Okay, so the baby that was left at an orphanage is herself because she had sex with herself in the future, and then the baby was stolen by his self, who turns out to be also
Her.
Ethan Hawke is also him, and the baby.
This movie is confusing as you're.
Yes, that's
explaining
why
it.
I don't think anyone heard of it, because it's just dumb. That's why I tried to give you
Oh, Adam said it was dumb.
explaining
Okay.
it.
That must have been a really bad movie then.
Yeah, if Adam does
What I tell you what
What was it called again?
predetermination.
Yeah, is that what I said?
That's what you said.
Predetermination or
Predestination.
predestination. Yeah. I won't give it a bad rating. Because Netflix offers bad, good, and great, it still gets a good one because the movie was good. It was just kind of strange to follow.
Sure.
It got decent ratings, but this one came out all the way back in 2014.
Yeah.
That's older. Yeah.
That's why I'm not too worried about giving these spoilers
Yeah.
away. And even the way I explained it probably was terrible. So if anyone's listening and trying to follow and be like, oh no, he ruined it, I don't think I'll ruin it for you.
I can't really think of any great movies with Ethan Hawke.
Really? Gattaca.
No, exactly. That was the first movie I was thinking of.
Yeah.
No,
and actually the Black Phone wasn't the worst. He was a bad guy in the Black Phone. That was a newer one.
Daybreak? That one was pretty
Daybreak
good.
was good, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen Daybreak.
It's about vampires and like this. They're trying to control the cure for vampirism. It's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
I would recommend that
actually,
one.
was he in Training Day?
Yes.
Okay, Training Day was good.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
See, look
Cole.
at that. He's just all on the Ethan Hawke train.
No,
But-
I think ever since I saw Gattaca, I just kind of avoid movies with Ethan Hawke in
You
it.
didn't like
You didn't-
Gattaca?
I fucking hated it.
Gattaca was awesome.
Gattaca was really good.
Yeah.
The movie really sucks.
Oh.
You didn't get it then.
I got it. It was just, but I was. It's like, oh, I'm gonna watch a movie. This is like supposed to be entertaining and shit.
No,
this
this
is
was-
so fucking boring. That movie is so goddamn
I would say
boring.
boring. I would definitely say depressing,
Yeah.
I'd say boring.
but not boring.
Not boring.
I did. I watched the Jake Paul fight.
Well, I watched it the next day.
Other people tried to as well, and they didn't have a great time with it.
I was able to watch the first 2 bouts fine, and then as soon as it was getting closer to the women's match, it started glitching, and I was like, no, I'm already logged on. It shouldn't be kicking me off. It should be kicking off all these people who are logging on now after the fact. Why is it screwing up? I've been watching it from the start.
Right.
I shouldn't be getting this error. It should be the people who are kicking,
I
trying to hop on.
But I'm sure people were they're hopping on, hopping off, trying to get it to work would be my thought.
But I let it sit for a long time. It just kept saying 25%. And I was like, it'll load eventually. And I was like, no. And then it was like, oh, it must be your problem.
Yeah.
Let's test your internet. And I'm like, fuck you. No, it's not my internet. I know it's working.
It's your internet.
Yeah.
I think I'm fortunate in that fact that I've got that Verizon internet and it's ridiculously fast. And I lost full HD for most of the women's match. I was able to watch the whole thing, and then it cut out when it got to the Jake Paul fight. But not that it really made a difference because the first match and the last match were fucking jokes.
Yeah,
then the 2 professional fights were actually really good.
I enjoyed the women's match the most.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then
they beat the fuck out of each other.
And then I was pumped about watching the Paul and Tyson one, and then I ended up watching 1 round, and or maybe I watched 2 rounds, and I was like, no, this isn't really. They're not trying, or there's something lacking here.
Yeah,
where I'm like, you watch like Tyson's training videos leading up what they were showing, where he's like, boo, boo, boo. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that looks like Tyson. He didn't do anything like that. He just was not showing aggression in there. It's just so disappointing. It's like, oh my, yeah. So what? Yeah, I'm sure everyone would have to feel in that boat.
I think the real winner is Jake Paul, who pocketed millions.
40 million.
Easy.
Yeah.
What a bummer.
Yeah. Oh, well. But it does make me, and I was curious on if there will be, I assume Tyson just won't do it. I was like, maybe he needs some money, so that's why he did it. But I don't think he's going to fight again.
Why would he?
Yeah. Unless he needs money again. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. He's got that weed business where he sells the gummies, the Mike Bites.
Mike Bites?
Yeah.
I will say this. The funniest part about the whole match was, or the funniest part about the whole night was Evander Holyfield was being interviewed. And
he couldn't hear anything.
His shit wasn't working.
Yeah.
And he looked like a fucking dope.
Yeah.
But then they asked him, hey Mike, or hey Evander, do you think he's gonna bite off Logan's ear?
Yeah.
It's like he'll never escape that, but fucking crazy.
Yeah. I will tell you that those 2 middle fights, I haven't watched any boxing for a long time.
Same.
And those 2 were enough to get me interested in maybe watching future boxing.
Yeah, if Netflix is going to host some sort of pay-per-view or something.
Or not even Netflix, just if I end up going through channels or something and I see a boxing match that actually is real, I might actually tune in and try to watch a little bit of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially the women's. They just fought the shit out of each other. Like, that was good.
I honestly thought that there would be a stoppage with her fucking eyebrow hanging out there. I'm like,
sick, yeah.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Adam.
Yes.
If you thought that was entertaining, Survivor Series is on the 30th of this month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
Yeah,
come on over.
There's gonna be some pro wrestling going on at this house.
Is that on Netflix too?
Not yet.
Okay, that's coming soon though.
Yes.
But that's why I hopefully, I don't know what kind of watchers the wrestling will get, if it will get as big of an influx in views as this Tyson fight but hopefully this was a learning thing for them to get out all the bugs or whatever
big
in
time,
their
'cause
system.
Apparently, Netflix is. I think it's on Christmas Day. They're supposed to be airing 2 NFL games.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, they better get their fucking shit together.
yeah, and I have to assume. I guess I haven't sought out any numbers, or if they even released that stuff on viewership. But I have to think that people were willing to pay like $5 just to get a membership for a month.
Oh,
absolutely, just to watch this fight, which is
Well,
cheaper than any pay-per-view.
There's people like Ashley who aren't even into sports or MMA or anything like that. Said she was going to stay up and watch the fight, and she had to work at 3 a.m. the next morning. And I said, "Really?" So, I mean, I think a lot of people just wanted to see Jake
Paul get his ass kicked.
Yeah, but
yes.
that I had a feeling that wasn't going to happen.
Yes.
And I was correct on that.
Yes, well, I had multiple theories. One being that Netflix was going to have issues, and that happened. And then I was just going through like stats in my head and on what could happen with the fight, which I'm sure everyone did. I'm like, well, Tyson hasn't fought for 20 years. He's almost 60.
Yeah.
He's fighting a guy who's half the age. Like, I still think Tyson could win, but it would have to be very fast just because he can be ripped, but the stamina of a 30-year-old versus a 60-year-old is going to be quite different.
Right. I mean, when the first round was over, I'm like, this is going the length because I don't think Jake is gonna. What's his name? Logan? Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. Yeah.
I don't think he was gonna. Go after him. I thought Tyson, like you said, had to be that first round knockout. But did you see John Bones Jones?
Yeah, I heard he won.
Dude, did you see how he won?
Body kick is what I've heard.
Smash this guy's ribs. Smash the fuck out of this guy's ribs.
Oh, yeah.
The spinning back kick with a heel right to the midsection. Knocked him right down. And then the guy gets up at the end. It's like, I'm done. I'm retired.
Well, he was going to retire even if he won that fight.
You think so?
Yeah. Stipe?
Yeah.
I think he had said that would be his last fight. He hasn't fought in like 3 years.
Oh, wow. We've jumped here to UFC. Is that correct?
Sorry. I was
I'm like, I didn't see any of these kicks in this Tyson fight. What are you talking about?
Yeah. You didn't see those the kickboxing in the regular boxing?
I mean, I would have loved to see some of that, but I missed it.
You know what would be really fun is just to have like them set up a WWE ring and then just do all kinds of different fights. Like do a UFC type, even MMA. Do a
true mixed martial arts.
Mixed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I do think, but I feel like you'd have to start with boxing and then kind of keep elevating until you get to the UFC or unless there's something even hard, further up.
Yeah, like pro wrestling where they're the
chainsaws come out and whatever. Yes.
It's a chainsaw match. By God, he's cut in half.
But yeah, you start with like boxing and then you go and move to kickboxing.
First you don't start with boxing. You start with that dumbass slap fighting.
Oh, slap fighting. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes.
No, first arm wrestling, then slap fighting.
Yes.
Then
just
boxing.
Slowly start making it where people get injured more and more. The injuries could happen more.
Yes.
Although some of those slap fighting, I've seen like some nasty things where I'm like, I think their eye socket collapsed.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
Well, good for them.
Yeah,
Good for them. Oh man. We went out to OPT last night, Cole and I, and a couple of Cole's work buddies.
One of the guys I work with, he's been there for 16 years. It was his last day.
Oh, okay. A farewell.
I said, so are you going hunting on Sunday? He goes, oh yeah. He goes, but we're still getting hammered on Saturday. And I'm like, all right. So I got off about an hour and a half before the rest of the guys did. So I came home. I showered up and stuff. And grabbed Taylor, and I was like, hey, because Taylor said, I have the night off. You want to hang out and get hammered? I was like, well, I'm already getting hammered with my work buddies. So I come over here, and I'm like, hey, Taylor, you want to come with us? He's like, yeah, sure. So we ran down to where I work and waited for those guys to finish up. And then we went out back of work and had some beers, and we had some whiskey, and we had some plum liquor. That was disgusting, but Taylor really liked it.
It was good. It was like this plum wine.
Was it just overly sweet?
It was very
way
sweet.
too sweet, dude.
Yeah.
I definitely would not want to get drunk off of it, but it tasted fine.
But you did.
So then we headed over to OPT, and there were 6 of us. So I was like, I'll get the first round, and wasn't too expensive. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't too expensive. But I know how much it cost. Well, between our first and second round, my boss called the bar and told the bartender, run those guys a tab. I'll come in and take care of it tomorrow. So we took advantage.
High five.
Did you hear at the end though?
What?
Your boss called us a bunch of pussies.
Why?
Oh, you didn't think you drank enough?
Yeah. He said, "How much is?" He asked the bartender. He said, "How much is it?" And she said, "Like I was $103 or something." He's like, "I'm disappointed."
I don't think he realized how much we were drinking before.
Oh, that could be
before we got there.
Yeah, he didn't know about the plum wine.
Yeah.
Well, that and there was some beers, and there was
the whiskey. And
some
stuff,
whiskey.
Yeah.
There's tequila shots. You weren't there for tequila shots.
No, I was just there for the beers. A little bit of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then well, we left an hour early too. So those guys continued after we left.
Oh, okay.
So it was a lot of fun. Taylor wanted to podcast. Told me earlier this week he wanted to podcast tonight because he could drink tonight and not tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I see he's not. I think maybe he went a little hard last night.
Not too hard. It was funny. So we're at the bar, and I was at that point where I knew I was going to be hungry. So I said,
"Oh yeah."
I said, "Hey, Carrie, could you throw in a pizza for me?" And Cole comes over. He's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm getting a pizza." And Cole said, "That's not going on the boss's tab." And I said, "Obviously, I just want a pizza."
Yeah.
And then he tells Carrie, he said, "Pull it out of the oven. We got to go." I'm like, what the fuck, Cole?
Dude, it was like, I was like, I am not. So we left an hour early. I was like, I am not staying here till closing time. Like, I am not fucking doing this shit.
I'm like, whatever, dude.
Like, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
She looked at me like I'm a fucking idiot. She's like, "You want me to pull this cold pizza out of the oven?" I said, "I guess."
It's not me. It's Cole.
I want to eat this thing here. But I did, however, win $50 on the digital pull tabs.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was the theme of the digital pull tabs?
I always like to play the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Oh, sure. Okay.
That one's fun. And then I don't remember the next one was, but pulled it.
Congrats.
I was like, fuck yeah.
Did you actually win, or did you put, how much did you put
I put
in?
a $20 bill in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I left with $50 extra.
So you cashed out 70.
Yeah.
If I'm doing the math correctly
Correct.
here.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
minus a pizza.
Yeah. So I did 50 on the one, and then the other one I had cashed out. I went over to the other one, and then a little later, and then popped the 20 in, and then took out another 20. So yeah. Yeah.
And now you're addicted.
No.
I could do this full time.
He's already been a dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then what? You came home?
Yeah, we came
and continued to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched a little more of our show. We've been watching the Watchmen series, which is fantastic.
The HBO one.
Yeah.
There,
Now
that,
that
was
the
that only
Penguin's
one
over.
season, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm trying to. I swear I probably didn't finish that because I think I was on like a trial of HBO or something,
shit.
and then when I finally had got HBO again, I forgot to go back and finish it. So I think I probably have.
That was
I think
one
there's
of-
only 8 episodes or
That was,
something.
like I think it's 9.
9, yeah.
I think that was one of my favorite one season shows, and like the way they ended it, it was like that was perfect. They didn't need a second season.
Yeah.
What was it? What was that show on Netflix a few years ago that we were talking about? Oh, it had the redheaded chick, the noisy little Jewish lady, and
Russian Doll.
Russian Doll. That should have been one season, man.
I started watching the second season.
I couldn't even fucking get through like the second episode
this
of the
is
second
stupid.
season. In my head, that's a one season show. That second season never happened.
Oh, okay. Well, then you don't have to worry about it. I mean, you felt like they
Never
closed out
happened.
the first season good enough. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just forget about it.
And that's kind of how Watchmen was. It was one season and then it just ended. And the way it ended was perfectly fine. They didn't need a second season or anything like that.
On that Natasha
something or
Leone or something like that. I like her show
Poker Face?
Poker Face.
Yeah.
And I think there's supposed to be another season of that
definitely
one.
supposed to be another one.
That one was a good one. I'd like that show to continue.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah, that one's the keeper.
That's the keeper.
For sure.
Yeah. There's a Peacock show called Hysteria. I don't know if I mentioned that. Maybe I did before.
You did with the heavy metal or the band that pretends to be Satan worshippers.
Yeah. And this one it's getting pretty good. But we're slowly watching it. It sucks when we watch it as a family, where we all have to coordinate our schedules of doing nothing and sit in the same room to watch it. I just want to like binge watch the whole thing and be done with it.
What's network is it on?
It's a Peacock one, yeah.
A peacock.
Fancy
Peacock.
lad Peacock.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's how a fancy chicken clucks.
A peacock.
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 That's how British chickens do it.
Yeah. I did. Oh, what else? I started a series on Netflix. I think it's been out for a while called The Gentleman. It's a series directed by Guy Ritchie.
Yeah. I haven't watched it. I'm interested in it.
Yeah, I recommend it.
I liked the movie.
Yeah.
But I don't. So it actually is good because I was like, they already made a movie that was pretty good. I don't want to fucking ruin it by watching
It's
this
weird.
TV
Weird that
series.
they made the movie. Same director made a movie called The Gentleman.
Yeah.
And a series also called The Gentleman.
Similar.
No. I mean, it's similar in that it's Guy Ritchie and all of his film things are similar in that sense.
Sure.
And similar, or same actors or repetitive actors, same actors in a lot of his stuff. But no, I think it's a completely different story, unless it somehow links to other stuff. But no, it's like this isn't a spoiler. It's just like a family, but one brother gets a dad dies and he gets the home area, the homestead, castle,
the estate,
whatever, the estate. That's the word I'm looking for. And they're British, so the older brother thinks he should be the one who gets it all, but he doesn't. And but the older brother's a freaking idiot, and he's the one who ends up causing all these hijinks, which basically ends up involving drugs.
Sure.
That keeps every event that happens keeps getting deeper and deeper and elevating the issues that this family is having, and it's all caused basically by this dumbass brother.
All right.
Yeah. So it just keeps growing further and further each episode until it'll hit a boiling point.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good. It's worth the watch. And I don't know how far I've watched, maybe 4 episodes.
Sure.
It's worth it. Yeah. It's a good one.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, anything else, Cole? You want to discuss?
No. You have editing to do because
Little
you
bit.
forget to turn on Adam's microphone.
It's still off, I'm sure. Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Yep. Shut it off.
Yeah, I don't know. You pushed something in that I felt like I heard myself really loud.
Well,
so
what
maybe
sucked
it was
is
just
that
on.
what sucked is I could still hear you.
Well, yeah, because it's echoey in here.
Oh, maybe.
Actually, it's not that bad when you listen back.
No?
On the
Okay.
recordings.
All right, well, that's good. But maybe the echo would have helped when my mic was off
Yeah.
to pick up on yours. So,
well, that's the way she goes, ain't it?
yeah.
All right. So for Comic Can Coozie, I'm Taylor.
I'm Adam.
I'm Cole.